boosted our ratings, so it's just going to stay in all of our videos.
Yes. But, okay, so I gave Dawn the same article as me because we're going to be partners today, and y'all just get your own
Aren't you
articles.
cool?
Yes. Anyways, so I read an article about all different things. The teachers, there was a lot of teachers in it, and they all did different things. And one thing that I really liked is one teacher focused on strong verbs. So, such as using like shouted instead of said, it makes a more like powerful meaning behind the words instead of just saying, "I said this." You can actually visualize how they said it by using the strong verbs. And not only can they use it in their own writing, but then they can also use it when the teacher's reading. They can look for the strong verbs as the teacher reads her book. So it's kind of connecting both. And then also another one is the main character changes throughout the text, which happens in pretty much every story.
Just like in life, the person changes.
Yeah. So like in the book, they change the character. And I thought that was kind of cool because then they can apply that technique to their writing, but they can also watch as the character changes in the book their teacher reads. So it's a lot of connecting writing and reading, and I thought that was really cool and a good thing to do. What was the point that you found in that same article?
Well, first of all, I want to say thank y'all for having me. I flew all the way from London. It was a crazy flight.
Can I fly back with you?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah,
you're going to have to be in our suitcase.
It's going to be so much fun, though.
Anyways.
Sorry. I'll talk again.
So, one of the teachers, like you said, he modeled adding a simile in his own writing, and then he encouraged his students to put a simile in their own writing as they revised their stories. So I thought that was great. Instead of just doing the same old worksheets, they actually get a hands-on feel of what they're doing with their writing.
Yeah, because I know like whenever I was in school about that, we would do like the definition and maybe have to write a few just for practice, but it was never like in our work, and we never saw the teacher just like, oh, this is my writing, but I think it would be really cool if I added this.
Exactly.
I think that's really cool. All right, can you handle talking about your article, or do you?
I think I can.
Okay, because what show are you on?
The review.
Okay. All right. Anyways, what was your point on your article that you wanted to make?
Yeah. The point that I found interesting was where the teacher allows the students to have their voice in their paper, where it kind of like shows through the student's personality and everything. Instead of like, say the student's writing a paper, the teacher can help the student like find the right words as long as it's still like in the student's words, instead of being like, oh well,
change this word.
Yeah, like instead of reading something like, oh well, you shouldn't have that, write it this way. It helps them along to change it where it's still their words.
Right, and then they can see who that, like when you read a paper, you should be able to tell, oh, that's Kara wrote that.
And that way it's authentic writing, and they can take ownership and say, this is my writing.
That kind of like goes along with the article I read. Basically, it's talking about how you should use topics that they're interested in. And like, if I was talking about something with history, I probably wouldn't be interested in. I wouldn't really want to write about it because that's not one of my favorite things. But if I was talking about like math, I'd be so excited about it, and I could bring my personal interest into it.
Exactly. Yeah, because who wants to write about something they hate?
Yeah, I know. Every once in a while, like in class or when I was younger, our teacher would give us a topic, and if it wasn't something I liked, I was like, stared at the blank piece of paper and looked around the room. Oh, someone else
like the
read
tax
that.
test.
Oh yeah.
And like another thing I read about like was giving the kids like children time to like do their stuff. And not like okay, you have to finish in 5 minutes. Because they aren't going to do their personal best if you give them the time.
Because they're going to rush, make errors, and
And they're just going to write down the first thing that comes to their mind. They're not going to think about what they really want to write down.
See, guys, I told you these articles were interesting. You were right.
I guess so.
But
We'll try to listen to you next time.
on our next show, well, I have some sad news, guys.
What?
Our show got canceled.
No way.
No.
So this is our last episode.
But the dog is healthy. Wait, am I still getting paid?
Okay, we have to go figure this out.
Okay.